All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the third installment of the Peter Long podcast. I know it's been forever since we've done one of these. I'm happy to say that we're going to start doing them again. After talking with Goodman, we realized that it had been forever since we've done a podcast and given a bunch of information out. Obviously, there have been a million changes since the last time we've done one of these, most of which you guys know about. So we're going to go into some more of the recent changes that have happened around the server in general, stuff that's going on the forums, stuff that's going on in game. We're going to talk about APD stuff, R&R stuff. We're going to jump into design stuff with map changes and some revamps that we're working on. We're going to talk to Civ reps. We're going to talk about staff changes that have been made recently. We're going to talk about the support team. We're going to talk about goofy stuff on the forums like the Olympus League of Legends tourney. I got a little announcement we're going to make at the end of the stream as well.
Shut the fuck up, fat man.
We're also
Hands up or die.
we're also going to be working on or we're also going to be having a AMA portion of the stream as well. So that should be good. Let's see here. Okay, so in the room with me, I have Goat, McDilly, Goodman, Moob, and Eat Meth. We're all going to be talking to you guys about a bunch of stuff. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I'll be trying to keep up on what you guys are saying. Also, if you guys want, hop into the podcast waiting room, and at the end of the podcast, when we do the AMA portion, I'm going to pull you guys in there. I thought I shut off alerts for this. It doesn't sound like the volume part of it worked. However, just pay attention because we got a lot of info, okay? All right, I'm going to unmute TeamSpeak. Hopefully these guys aren't swearing. And we'll get started. All right, guys. So, I've already done the intro to the podcast. Welcome, all of you, to the third installment.
You already know.
Oh, good lord. Okay, so first things first, we're going to talk about, just the server in general. As it stands, since the last time we did this podcast, we have made a new server. Our population increase is bigger than it's ever been. The APD is larger than it's ever been.
It's the greatest it's ever been.
That's from Goat. The R&R, I believe, is the largest it's ever been. I can double check with Isaac about that later. He's offline right now. However, they're doing interviews all the time. Oh, he is. Hi, Isaac. You're on the podcast. I thought you were AFK. I didn't realize you were in here. And then we're going to be talking about the fact that just as a whole, the staff is bigger, the R&R is bigger, the APD is bigger, Olympus is growing and growing, and it's just awesome. So let's just jump right into it. I got Goat and Eat Meth and Goodman in here. You guys are all members of the senior APD. Obviously, Goat under your leadership. Some changes recently. We got Deadpool and Stewart promoted to sergeant, so congratulations to those two. And you guys added the M900 to the patrol officers. You increased the APD up to 281 cops. You made a new squad, Golf Squad, and I got the numbers earlier. You have 111 deputies and 129 patrol officers. Back when I was in the APD, we had 160 officers. So you guys are doing a crazy job. Why don't you talk to me about, the reasons for your success?
The reasons for our success. Well, I would say without the glorious help of my deputy chiefs, that I don't know if we'd be able to do all this. So shout out to them. Shout out to my LTs and sergeants that do the deputy tests, the grunt work, the PO tests. You know how it is, that gang shit on the APD. So yeah, it's just a real tight knit community we have in the senior APD, if you know what I mean.
Meth and Goodman, can you guys echo that? Is Goat the best chief of police you've ever seen?
He's done a lot of updates that I've seen so far. But...
Wait, time out. Meth, you said no. Do you care to elaborate?
I've seen Clemenza do more, and he's been AFK for 2 months, so.
All right, so Goodman, why don't you actually talk about the stuff that you see?
Huge changes in the APD.
Huge changes.
We're winning bigly in every category. It's no contest.
Making the APD great again.
Deals.
making beautiful trade deals.
Yeah, speaking of trade deals, a little controversy not too long ago where GOAT made a rule change to allow cops to teleport to federal events, essentially by just
Tag
respawning.
respawn, sir? Come on.
Obviously, that was far from balanced. I'm pretty sure that as soon as that was released, I could actually hear Moob fall out of his wheelchair from here. It was in an uproar. I'm sorry, Moob. I'm just kidding. But it was obviously not very well received by the civs. And GOAT used that to negotiate the use of M900s for patrol officers, which I would like to point out is the first time that patrol officers have ever had access to a helicopter since the beginning of the server. Why don't you talk to us about your thought process behind the M900?
Well, you see, we had a problem to where people, specifically in Kavala, were having a tough time getting to the Blackwater in timely fashion. So we decided to do the tank respawning rule change. Some people said it's unbalanced, some didn't. So we went ahead and compromised, made a great trade deal for the APD, and we were able to implement M900s for the POs, so they could actually be able to get to the Blackwater, and if they were authorized, many other situations, in a more timely fashion. So it was a great trade deal for both sides. I do have to.
Who is the other side?
That'd be the civilians, Corporal Moob and Buffalo Bill.
Which we will talk about Moob and Bill being the representatives this time around after the R&R portion of the podcast. So yeah, that was a huge change, and then obviously the creation of Golf Squad, and the additions of 2 new sergeants, plus the host of promotions that have happened since the last podcast.
Three new sergeants.
Three? Who am I missing?
Heyday repping Golf Squad right now.
How long ago was the Heyday promotion?
That was like the same time.
Oh, it was the same time. My bad for Heyday. I apologize. I was not aware that yours was then. I thought it was before these two. All right. Well, so 3 new sergeants. I mean, you've had. I think I've seen different changes for lieutenants over the last 2 months. Everybody getting promoted like crazy. So I mean, you guys are in a really good spot. I can tell you from my personal view. The APD is the best that it's ever been.
What about the boy Dante, dude?
Yeah.
Dante?
Oh, then Dante getting poached. Okay. Disclaimer here. Every time I see Dante, I still think he's a member of the senior R&R. However, GOAT did another one of his trade deals and swooped in and nabbed Dante, making another sergeant for you guys. That's 4 sergeants in the last month.
Yeah, we're ever since our expanding size of the APD, we are the biggest it has ever been. So accordingly, I added a new squad and a associated new sergeant or 2 with it. So the opportunity presented itself to where Dante, his services were available for the APD. So I felt like he was our best candidate at the time, and we swooped him up.
May I comment on this?
Yeah. Oh, so this is gonna get a little spicy. This is Isaac Newton, the head R&R coordinator, talking. Go ahead, Isaac.
Yeah. So this is kind of why I wanted to comment. There seems to be this suspicion that maybe I have hard feelings on it. Actually, I'm very proud of Dante. I told him this, and anybody who knows me knows that I like success stories. So he's one of those examples of someone whose journey is just beginning here on Olympus. Very proud of him.
Well, we're going to use this as a segue.
Contrary to popular belief.
Well, you said a part of what you just said, for those who don't know me, I mean, you've been around this server forever. I mean, back from the Shope 5 days, and I mean, you've been around, you've been a staple in this community, but a lot of people might not know who you are. Muthanator, guys, is for those who have been living under a rock over the last few weeks. Muthanator stepped away from the community completely, and gave the head R&R coordinator position to Isaac, which I can't say congratulations enough, Isaac. I know you've been working for it for, it seems like years, and I think you're going to do great. Is there anything that you want to kind of tell the people that are watching what to expect for the R&R?
Yeah, it's always been about the team, so it's not really, and yeah, again, thank you very much for congratulations. And by the way, my commenting on earlier, Goat has a good eye for talent on the regards to Dante as well. So that's another thing. So it's good on Goat to put his skills to use. But anyway, so regarding medics, I mean, we have promotions coming up as well. We actually already promoted Opus and Johnny. Medic of the month, Dingle Pooper, killing it, reviving it.
Yeah, I would hope he's not killing it as a medic.
I'm sorry, I'm reading this Twitch chat.
Yeah, it's actually getting kind of lit in there.
But as far as the direction of the R&R, it's always going to be straightforward. We have a lot of integrity, a lot of discipline. We do a good job. We've always done a good job. It's about the team. We have a very good team. I'm blessed to have this team. And I've been around long enough, as you mentioned, to basically know the ins and outs, what to look out for. So I feel like it's good timing as well. I needed this time to inherit this type of role, so it's good. Everything's going to be fine, and we're in good hands.
Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody's happy to hear that. I mean, put it in perspective. We've never had a podcast or a time where we were able to talk to this many people. I mean, we're up to 35 people in chat right now. We just started. But we've never had an ability to have two heads of factions that were this accessible. And to be frankly honest, it's easy to talk to. I mean, there were times when people have literally never talked to the head of a faction and been in that faction for a while. So it's great that, you know, we have two heads of factions now that want the best, not only for their factions, but for the server itself, and who are just, I mean, Goat's not quite easy to talk to because we can all agree he's a donut, but I'm just kidding, Goat. I apologize. But it's nice to have two heads of factions that want what's best for their own factions and for the server as a whole.
Yeah, we'll be releasing something too tonight. I don't know if you want to reveal anything.
Are you talking about the addition of a vehicle?
Yes.
You want to release that one?
There's like
go
three
for it. Go for it.
things really that I'm
Okay,
going
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and release whatever you want to release, man.
Well, as a lot of the seniors already know, that we're moving Pure Ghost Hospital right down the street. That was actually, I think, a request that started with Goat.
But yeah, no, I went and talked to Mercury, get his opinion on it, and he said he would see what you guys think. So.
I think Peter wanted to pick my brain on that, but he already. I feel like I already told you how I feel about that.
Yes, you have. But for those who
totally
don't know
okay
in the
with
chat,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, there's that. If there's any medics in the channel, we're bringing back the Hemet. I don't care what anybody says. I could give 50 reasons why that should have never been removed.
That's
So,
huge. I'm
that
sorry.
as
I'm
well.
so
Yeah, it's pretty
excited for
huge.
that. That was
Yeah.
my favorite part about being a medic, was driving that big ass thing around picking up cars. So the fact that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to bring that back is awesome.
And the last thing is we're going to just start making it a little easier for people to, if they've already taken the flight test, which we love our flight tests, everybody knows that. But if you've already taken it, I want to add an exempt status. You know, so you full on are recorded in our notes that you've taken the flight test and you are a competent pilot. So,
Chat would like to know what rank you're going to be implementing the Hemet to.
rank 3 as always.
Okay.
What
Search and rescue with Hemet.
I wanted to ask you this because I know whenever Muthinator was head R&R, he declined it. Obviously, you know the senior APD got pilot helmets. I hear a lot of medics would like this, would like the same. What do you think about that?
Somebody asked me this earlier today, and the way I put it is, you know, the APD, they really deserve just a kick-ass helmet. There's no denying that. And their vests almost make it look normal, and really cool actually, with the big heavy vests along with it. And the black camo, it looks just cool with the silver. Unfortunately, medic uniforms, and I've seen it before, Ares used to always wear the helmet even though he wasn't supposed to. We do kind of look like aliens, and it is kind of unnecessary if you think about it. I mean, we don't fly jets or anything, or any like ridiculous jet hybrids or anything that would require that helmet, so it almost makes no sense. However, I told that particular person who asked me that I would give it some thought. We'll see what we can come up with.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, good, because I'm pretty sure Panera
look
GG
kinda
was
weird
about to
in it.
die. All right. Well, that's the whitelist roles, our two factions, the APD and the R&R. I'm glad we got to hear from both heads of factions. You guys can chill in here and hang out for a little bit, give your opinions on some stuff that we're going to be talking about. I have Corporal Moob in here, guys. He is one of the 2 Civ reps that we have right now. Moob, this is your second term as being voted as a civilian representative. That last election was a little bit spicy. Some stuff happened, but we've already fixed that for the next one. But you and Bill, Bill's obviously in his first term right now, have been elected by the entire community, by the majority of the community, to represent their interests both against, the APD changes, the R&R changes, and to present those changes that you guys want to see to the staff at staff meetings. Can you go ahead and kind of talk us through, what you and Bill are working on, maybe some stuff that you want to bring to the table, maybe tease some stuff that we've talked about. The floor is pretty much yours, Moob. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Firstly, I kind of made a status update about it there when the election finished, but just right now, I'd like to thank everyone that did vote for me. I think everybody kind of does know that it's the secure vote. I mean, some of the stuff we're doing right now, no, I mean, it's
no, I know. It's just
I'm not going anywhere. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've got an idea. I did it last time, so.
Congratulations on hitting puberty too, as well.
Yes. It was a long and arduous journey. But some of the stuff we've been looking at right now, we were looking at some minor bug fixes, just that some of the nice things to be doing in the game. Like for example, just I brought it up in the same meeting as well, which was when you're tased, losing a mag in your gun for no reason. Well, obviously it was originally introduced to prevent shooting while tased, but with our big lead developer Jesse in there, I mean, he's pretty much god tier developer, so he can obviously figure out a way, or he knows a way to fix that. Then there's another couple of bug fixes as well, just some of the minor stuff. Now, in terms of the actual big changes, we have indeed got the green light on the gang hideouts coming back in. Now, there's just going to be a couple of tweaks and things like that as to see how they actually work compared to how they used to work previously, as well as, let me see what else we got here. Yes, I myself, and then Bill is a little bit busy just at the moment with some real life stuff, so I'm kind of taking the solo floor just at the moment. But I'm also trying to come up with a way at the moment. I think people at the moment are kind of struggling in certain senses to make money when the server's kind of jumping and popping whenever it's 111 people, because there's a lot of cops on. The APD's a lot bigger than it used to be, so obviously with that there's going to be more cops on. So there's certain people that are struggling to make money here and there. Even players that have been around for a long time, their little methods and things like that really do struggle. So we're just kind of thinking of if we could try and maybe think of another way that civilians could maybe earn money, so that I mean, a lot of times you might hear, whether it be in this TeamSpeak or your own TeamSpeak, hey, I'm kind of broke. You want to make some money? Let's go get on cop. That kind of thing. Would like to kind of steer away from that. Obviously, civilian probably should be the faction in which you can make the most money. But at the moment, McDilly put it perfectly the other night. It's you either go high risk and you get a great reward, or you go high risk and you lose it all from either getting robbed or getting fucked by cops. So we're kind of looking for a middle ground at the moment, and just in which you don't have to put quite so much out on the line in terms of getting your truck stolen or getting seized. Maybe just another way to make some money for any kind of player, whether it be you a big badass gang leader, or you happen to be Joe who joined the server 20 minutes ago, something like that. But there is another couple of things that are in the works, especially regarding the Warpoint shop. But for the time being, we're going to keep them under wraps. But I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Been asking me personally. There's exactly square root of fuck all that I can do about it. It's up to Jesse. But obviously Jesse has his hands full at the moment, or his plate's pretty full, because he's deving for obviously not just me and Bill. He's Devin for Goat and Devin for Isaac and whatever else the staff might need. So we're trying to get it pushed through as quick as possible. But we're trying to look for it to come through in a way where it's not going to be easily exploitable, but is also going to be fair to everyone involved. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Well, that's a good segue, you said, in terms of easier ways to make money. I have Eat Meth in here as well. As you guys know, Eat Meth was promoted to designer, what was it, like 3 weeks ago?
Probably.
Something
yeah,
like that.
I'd say so.
And we have been working diligently on some balancing issues that we've had for a very, very long time when it came to the legal system. As you guys know, legal right now, with the exception of Diamond and the maybe Oil in Ataru, it's pretty dead. And there's
It's dog shit.
there's no point in doing it because the time it takes you to make money on that kind of run, you're either robbed, killed, or you've spent an hour making 180k, which there are some players that can make that much money with paychecks in that amount of time. So Meth and I worked very, very hard. It took us about a week total to do all of it. We did every single run. We timed we timed the current ones out, and then made changes to them on the map to optimize them, to make them faster, to make them give you more money for the amount of time that you've spent. So, just please note, we did not change the current prices of legal. You're still getting the same amount of money per unit that you're selling. However, we've moved zones to make them closer to cities, to make them closer to each other, and we made them a little bit safer, for the most part, to do, so that way, normal guys, new players who are coming into our servers all the time, can grab a off-road, and they can go do a copper run, and it'll only take them 15 to 20 minutes, and they'll make a lot more money than they would on our current run, which would take you 50 minutes to an hour. So we're making a lot of changes to kind of help the little guys out. Moob brought up some stuff as well where that might cause some offset to illegal zones. I know there's a lot of illegal that's not very good to do right now. And it seems like the most amount of money that people make quickly is, moonshine and meth. Obviously, we want to spread people out. We want them doing everything they can on the map. So we're going to be looking at illegal as well, possibly making some changes as we see needed to make sure that they're still balanced. So I am happy to announce that we have completely revamped the entire legal system. So it will actually make more sense for some gangs, if they want to just do legal runs. Obviously opening up more zones for roleplay and such, and to make it a little safer for you guys so you're not driving into a zone to go pick something and instantly get killed. And also some other map changes that are going to be coming up as well. Kavala Square. We've heard a lot of negatives about the way it functions right now. And also you heard earlier about some hospitals moving as well. So we're going to be making some changes. Meth, Tony, and I are going to pretty much just do a general overhaul for optimization, reduce object count to promote or to give better performance to players, and just to make things make a little more sense. So cool things coming for the map, guys. Be excited about it. And if you guys are good enough, maybe we'll make Kavala a red zone so you guys can just kill each other all the time. Because essentially that's what it is anyways. That's not going to kidding. So, other changes that we've seen as well. We've talked APD, we've talked R&R, we've talked Civ
wait,
Rep.
before we move on, I want to mention though, if you
Go
are
for it.
doing legal, if you buy a worker protection license, it actually increases the sell amount for whatever legal item you have for up to 15%. So if you're doing legal, it's probably a good idea to buy that license since you get a 15% boost on whatever you sell.
And we might be
Yeah,
making
like
some
that.
changes to that as well in terms of weapon loadouts that you guys can get for that. We're talking about that in the staff as well. Another little buff to that license.
Would like to take credit for that one, yes, of course. You did mention there, Peter, some of the buffs to the legal zone prices. And also just happen to remember the fact of the discussion we had the other night. Finally, for a lot of people that have done federal events before, the Fed can be exceptionally fucking RNG. When it comes to getting your gold bars at the end of it, sometimes you can do it and you'll get 105 gold bars, and then sometimes you'll do it and you'll get 280. And it can literally vary from 3-4 mil right the way up to about 9-10 mil. And when you're doing that from how hard it is to defend off the cops for 20 minutes and then try and survive your way to the trader, while you've got an army of cops after you, and sometimes you do have the odd civs trying to anti-fed you as well. Really, at the end of it, unless you win, and unless you win very, very, very fucking clean, you're not really going to make any profit from it, or if you do, it'll be bare minimum, just enough to cover your loadouts and maybe a little bit more, but not much apart from that. So what we were doing is looking at the gold bar price increase, which is a definite yes on this point. McDilly, I remember you were there obviously with us when we were talking about it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember, was it a 50% increase, was it, or?
Yeah, we came to the conclusion that the flat value of gold bars will increase by 50%, which will put it at I think $40,500
$48,000
per bar.
Dang.
No, 40,500 came out to 40,500. I just actually got done talking to Jesse about it. He's just gonna make it 41K for some simplicity reasons.
Behind my back once again.
And
This is why I like Jesse.
So the Fed will hopefully be worth doing it, because one of the things I think nobody really kept in mind with Fed gold price or value was that it's not something that one guy gets. It's literally split between at least 10 people, usually. Most of the time more, and most of the time you lose people during that fight. So it's a lot to cover with losses after it's all said and done.
I think Gummy Cow wants to come in here and advertise for an event that is upcoming. He's agreed to
Hang on,
not be toxic.
we will bring that event up after I talk support team and staff
Okay,
changes.
alright.
We are bringing that up, and I will happily bring him in here to talk about that event. It is on my list. Okay, so that's it for Civ reps. That's it for map changes. That's it for the R&R. That's it for APD changes. From a staff standpoint, it has been a long time since we've done one of these podcasts, and in that amount of time from then to now, there have been a bunch of changes in the staff. New moderators coming up. There have been, admin promotions. There have been people removed from staff, people who have retired from staff, people who have quit. So I just want to say just a quick disclaimer for the staff portion of this. Thank you to everybody who has, given their input and worked very hard on the staff. If it wasn't for the efforts of these people, the server would not be where it's at today, along with everybody in this room and all of you guys as well. So just a quick thank you to you guys. And our most recent staff member, Strike, welcome to the team. A big congratulations for him. He's been working very hard on the support team. So, we're excited to see him come up to the team. And you guys might notice the staff is bigger than it's ever been. That's because our server is better and bigger and better than it's ever been. Even in the heyday of Altus Life, when we had 3 servers, we only had 75 player cap. Right now we have 3 servers at 100. So, Goat, I swear to God, if you say it's a direct correlation to you joining, I'm gonna put you in the dirt. So thank you again to all staff members, present and past, for all the efforts.
You're welcome.
Just a quick thing. Jesus, mod for a day, man. All right. Bringing up the fact that our server is bigger than it has ever been with the most community members. I mean, what are we at? 16, 17,000 people on the forums now? Forum accounts created? I mean, that's ridiculous. 18,000? Holy crap.
18,200.
Okay, so that's absolutely insane when you think about how just 3 years ago that was one dude who said, hey, I want to make a server, and it's grown to that. So with a bunch of new players coming in and the player pot being, bigger than it has ever been, we have the support team. That's something that was created over a year ago, and I'm happy to say that it is still going strong. As it stands, they have 44 members of the support team. It's led by Pledge right now. And they are actively recruiting. They need more people. So go ahead.
You want to bring them in here?
He's muted in TeamSpeak, isn't he? Yeah, let's bring him in.
Buddy was moved to your channel.
Hey, Pledge, we're talking about a support team, bud.
Hey.
So, you're the leader of the support team. You said you have 44 members right now, and that you're still recruiting. Why don't you talk a little bit, just a quick PSA for those who are watching the stream and listening to the podcast, just about what the support team is about and what you're looking for in future applicants.
Well, so obviously since Olympus is a non-whitelisted server, we're going to have people that are coming in that are newer to the server and don't really have the experience or the sort of knowledge to be able to play on the server as some of the more experienced players. So what the support team's trying to do is make sure that when those players are about and they get a rule broken on them or they have a question about a rule, they have somewhere to come that they can ask without bothering the staff who can use that time to do player reports or other things like that. So it's really kind of fun to get to help some people.
So what do you, I mean, in terms of people who are interested on joining the support team, where can they go to do that?
So to do that, you go ahead and go into the support section of Olympus forums, and there's a department called support team applications, and you go ahead and write a little application there, submit that, and get to join the support team, which would be lots of fun.
All right, man. I appreciate you being in here. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. You know, obviously, guys, if you want to be a part of the support team, go to the forums, submit an application, and they will get to you. Don't let me forget later, Pledge, to make that change to the application, so that way an admin won't meet with them. It'll be a senior support member. All right, so support team done. Staff changes done. CivRep. Map changes, R&R and APD, all done. So, we're going to be talking about one of the two announcements that I want to make tonight. The first of which, let's bring Gummy Cow in here. Anybody?
He's, I got him.
Okay.
User was moved to your
All right,
channel.
so, Goat, you made a post on the forums a little while ago about an event that you are hosting for Olympus. Do you and Gummy Cow want to talk about this event?
Yeah, I mean, Gummy Cow wanted to come in here. Gummy Cow, do you want me to start, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
This is your event.
Hang on,
All
real
right.
quick. Gummy Cow is a fat, sweaty German sausage by a gentleman in chat. Do you have a response?
Who is that gentleman?
I can't even say his
He's
name.
under an anonymous name. He's too
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's too much of a bitch to come under his regular name.
All I gotta say is show up at TwitchCon.
Now, Gummy Cow, is it true that you are shit at League of Legends?
I am probably the best player on Olympus Altus Life.
Okay. All
Okay,
right,
that's like saying you're principal of a homeschool. Okay, so go ahead and talk to me about your guys' event.
All right, so we're gonna have a league tournament. It's literally anybody can come. It's not just any random Olympus player. It can be anyone from Asylum, whatever. First place gets 10 mil, second place gets 5 mil, third place gets 2.5 mil, assuming we have a third place XD. So it will be Friday. Yeah, probably gonna start later than 4 p.m. Eastern because everybody's bitching about getting off work and shit like that. If necessary, we can move it just to Saturday. Meth's going to be streaming it. I will be a co-host, apparently, what he said. 7 players, hella money, and you get to flame each other. So, yeah. You got anything to add to that, Mr. Bot?
I do, kinda. I encourage everyone to put a roster in. I mean, even if you are silver, that's the average rank, alright? Chief of Police here has never been ranked, so he's on our team, so he's dead weight pretty much, so don't be afraid, you might have a chance to beat us. But, yeah, I encourage you to put in a roster, even you Olympus staff members.
I will put the roster where you can submit your roster link in the chat. I fully expect it to get spammed with nonsense. So yeah.
Well, I'm in. Sounds like fun. Dilly, are you going to download League of Legends to be in this?
Hell no, but I will be spectating the VOD afterwards.
Sounds good to me. All right, so is that it for your League of Legends tournament, Goat?
I believe that is it, unless Meth has something to say, but Probably okay.
Donations towards the stream will go to my Kia Soul. Thank you. And good night.
That is not a joke.
All right, well, I might chuck a couple dollars to towards your Kia Soul, man. The fact that you drive a Kia Soul, though, man, I'm just picturing you as one of those hamsters wearing like the ghetto uniform. I don't know why.
The
just
ghetto
those
uniform?
Well,
the ghetto.
the hammer pants, you know.
That's pretty racist.
You got a
What are you
chance.
insinuating,
All
bud?
right, you know what? We're just
You
gonna
mean-
move on to the
That's
next
pretty
subject.
tryhard,
Food
you know what
stamps?
I mean?
All right, I'm quitting. I'm
Watermelon?
quitting. Stepping down. Done. Later. Podcast over.
Timberlands?
All right. So, last quick announcement for the podcast, and then we're gonna do the AMA portion where we'll answer your guys'
AMA.
questions in chat. We'll pull people who are in the podcast waiting room where you guys can ask questions to the panel of people that I have in here. You know, about the server, about any of the events that we're having, anything that's happened recently. We'll answer those, and then we'll shut the podcast down for the night. But the last quick announcement is I've been getting quite a few messages, both on the forums, in TeamSpeak, in real life. Smoke clouds, birds have been sent to my house about Gang Wars. I have been thinking about it quite a bit, how to set one of these up again. As you guys know, it's a quite long and arduous process to do one of these, get everybody together. But I'm happy to say that we are going to be doing another Gang Wars here soon, and I'm going to put soon in quotation marks. I'm working with the dev team to make it a little easier to do Gang Wars this time around. Potentially we'll have our own, or like a system in place that will shrink zones for you, kill players off for you if they're not in them, faster loadouts, that kind of stuff. The inherent problem with Gang Wars is the fact that it takes so long to do because there are so many people involved in the event. If we can streamline that and take a 12-hour event and break it down to 6, that's a lot easier, especially for the people who are EU. The last Gang Wars went until like 7 in the morning their time, which is just ridiculous, and that's not fair to them. So we're going to be working on hopefully something that will work in regards to optimizing that process. I say soon also in quotation marks because I am expecting my second child here within the next month or so. So obviously I don't want to be streaming Gang Wars and then have to run to the hospital to watch the birth of my kid. So what we're going to do is I'm probably going to end up waiting until after she is born, and then we'll do it. So that way I don't have to worry about running out of the room. You just might hear me change a diaper during the podcast or during the stream. So and Aldo says, "Fuck you, thanks, dude." No, but there will be there will be things built into place hopefully that will help. If you're banned on the server, it'll just kick you. If you don't have enough time based on the requirements that we put in, it'll just kick you. So that way it won't be one person enforcing rules on 150 people. The system hopefully will just do it for us. So that way it's faster, there's less things to argue about, and it's just a better event altogether. It will be, I believe, the 10th Gang Wars that Olympus has had, so it should be pretty lit, especially with our player pop being bigger than it's ever been, and more gangs out there. It should be pretty damn fun. Also, Goodman just poked me in TeamSpeak to let me know. This is my podcast. This is the podcast for the staff. This is the podcast for the leaders of the factions to talk to you guys. Back, what was it, about a year and a half ago, a couple of concerned players had a podcast of their own to talk about Olympus. Some of those players are in this room right now. So if people want to have their own podcast and talk about Olympus, give different perspectives, because obviously as staff, as faction leads, we see the server and what's going on through a different color lens than what maybe the normal player does. Obviously, we have more information than everybody else does, so it leads us to make decisions that may not make sense. However, if you guys are interested in doing one of your own, where you can talk to the rest of the community, please message Goodman or I on the forums, preferably both of us, and we will talk you guys through maybe the best way to do that to get your voice heard. So, let's see here. We'll do the AMA portion of this. If you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in chat. Everybody in here is reading the chat. Also, if you want to be pulled in the into this room to ask a question, just join the podcast waiting room in Olympus TeamSpeak, and we will do our best to get a couple of people in here to ask questions. I know Prime sent me a message earlier, so I'm gonna pull him in really quick.
User was moved to your channel.
Prime, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Doing well, man. What's your question?
Well, I heard you a couple streams ago that you're gonna be making a legal server. Do you plan on adding like any different like legal runs?
You mean what do you mean?
What?
Legal server?
Not a legal server. We're revamping the legal that we have on our servers.
I think what you misinterpreted was the legal system, not the legal server.
All right.
Yeah, we're not
And,
actually, but like a lot of people, I think maybe got the impression that we're buffing the price of legal. We're not buffing the price of legal. Some legal stuff is fine. I can tell you there's one particular legal thing that hasn't changed at all because it's fine and it works fine. The money on it is perfectly fine. But some stuff only had like traders move, everything else got overhauled completely. Like they all basically just had their locations moved. The value of the legal is not changing at all, and we're also going to make sure that illegal is still always better.
All right. So since you're adding the you can do like you can work off your jail time. Is that the offshore legal run, or is that something completely different?
They're two separate. The thing to work off your jail time is part of the donation goal, and it's completely separate. The offshore excavation thing is a totally new legal thing to do, or it will be.
Which should be released soon. TM. In quotes. All right, Prime. Thanks for joining, man.
Yep, no problem.
User was moved.
All right.
I saw a question here that said had something to do with "Are you gay?" and I'm gonna reply with no.
Well, speak for yourself. I mean, Goodman's in the
A
channel.
little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I can't find it. Let's see.
Let's see here. Who else in chat? What about a dedicated event team? Event leaders, a console, and such to set up and make decisions about prizes and such, and daily events. Event team has been something that has been thrown around quite a bit. We haven't brought it up in the staff section yet, or in terms of like staff meetings, because the event menu that we have right now is honestly subpar to run events, and to give that to a team to utilize is pretty piss poor.
I'm just gonna emphasize subpar because it's very subpar.
I mean, yeah, it's shit. Let's be real. I mean, it was good for a little bit, but to do the types of events that'll keep people motivated to participate in them, it's not up to snuff. So I know there was a developer who was working on doing events and kind of streamlining that. I'm not sure where the development is in that. Obviously, there have been some other things that have been worked on. So we'll see what happens with that. Do I eat ass? Only your mother's.
Something Wong asks, what are you doing with the Warpoint system?
I believe that is still in the works. I don't want to release anything yet because nothing is set in stone right now. But the Warpoint system is being worked on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll add that we spoke with Jesse about it, and Jesse, he is monitoring how the Warpoints are working. I believe he plans to tweak it even further, because sometimes you still encounter situations where you might get a wonky amount of war points, or you might lose a wonky amount of war points at times. But beyond that, yeah, the end goal is still a Warpoint shop. So
the more you ask about a Warpoint market, the less like enthusiastic people are going to be to develop it. So if we could not spam the devs, that'd be a little preferable.
Yeah, I would just like to quash this kind of rumor because somebody brought it to me and it seems like it has this large following. I'd like to point out Jesse does not get paid, by the way. People seem to think he does, but he does not get paid. So anything he does for free, and out of the goodness of the fact that he loves to wave his big, massive dead penis around the air.
It is
yeah,
massive.
Yeah, it's about as big as Goat's ego stick. So, I know for certain. I've talked to Jesse multiple times on it. It's still the little issues of when you kill people. There's certain times where you might get way more points than you should, and then there's also certain times when you get way less points than you should, or you lose points when you're fresh spawn way more than you should. There's still a few tweaks here and there. It's 90% done. If we need to remember, this is still a test phase. So I mean, it's coming. I can 100% confirm it. When? Not, I can't really put a time frame on it, but I don't think anybody's going to be waiting another 2-3 months for it. I reckon it would be before then.
Here,
Will there be a reset? No.
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 No, that was the
How to Kill a Server Part 2. No thank
Yeah,
you.
I was just gonna say that was probably the worst thing that ever happened
A
to
war
Olympus.
point reset. Probably.
Oh,
From what I heard, yes.
That or the war point I can't speak on, but the server
Don't
reset
know.
was not good.
Everything is just rumors. It's all rumors.
It's a
yeah,
lot of
war point
Chinese
reset.
whispers right now.
Don't you use my
Don't
fucking
know.
term?
All right, so hang on. Dangastine says, "Will anything be changed in Blackwater? If so, you have a question about it." In regards to what, Dangus? RP Slayer says, "Peter, just got a quick question. Are you working on fixing Blackwater gear? The other day there was a bunch of senior APD and kids get a hunter. I think the system is a bit fucked up. Also, when it comes to dropping good gear, when most of the times it's just a bit of CSAT, Arcos, Mark 1s, and Mark 4s.
RNG for a reason.
It's
Yeah.
RNG.
I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
some Blackwaters that have spawned crazy good gear. I've seen some that have just sucked. So it's RNG.
I mean,
just keep
you
doing
literally
it.
had a situation like 2 weeks ago where Prime did Blackwater and got 2 armed Hurons in a day. So I mean, your mileage.
Just gotta
may
keep
vary.
doing it.
It is 100% RNG, to be honest.
Ignacio says, "Have you
The-
ever
the
ate ass?"
spawn-
No.
The spawn rates are increased when there's more cops on and stuff like that, but beyond that, it's RNG. Sometimes you get fucked.
And to be honest,
Sometimes
that's
you
about
get
as accurate as you can get in terms of the actual percentage chance changing it to when more cops are on better gear, because there's been a couple of people asking for guaranteed amounts of gear, but that would be kind of awesome.
I mean, you already do get some buff as far as I remember whenever there's more cops, or maybe it's just whenever senior APD get on, but it's a nominal buff in the RNG, I do believe.
Yeah,
Lud brings up a good point as well. Go ahead, keep going.
There's 2 different buffs that happen. I won't go into detail. There's 2 different buffs that happen with how many cops are on. It doesn't have anything to do with senior APD is on. It's just how many cops in general there are. And there's 2 different buffs that happen at certain numbers of however many cops that they're on. And there was a recent buff to like the rare vehicles being able to spawn like at a higher spawn rate or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still RNG. Then you got better chances that it's just RNG. So sometimes you get fucked.
Lude says, "Put Blackwater back down to 20 minutes. Literally no reason for 25 minutes." Quick disclaimer: it was always the intent to increase that 20 minutes to do the big illegal event that gives you the best loot. Is kind of OP for the Civ side of things. So it was always the intent to have a process
User in
in
your
which
channel timed
it
out.
takes you a while to place a bomb or to cut a door open or something like that. It just was never implemented at the time we put Blackwater in. So I understand that's made a lot of difficult possibilities for civs to successfully pull off a Blackwater. I can tell you that it is still possible. It's still as balanced as it's going to be for now. We're going to keep monitoring it.
User was
if
moved
we need
to
make
your
some
channel.
changes.
Alright, with that, gents.
That's all good.
Yeah, I mean the Blackwater is still. I think it's fine. It's definitely doable. You just have to play smart. Really, there's.
Yeah,
other
I mean, we
factors.
had, like-
If you get,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say sometimes if you get stacked by a shitload of cops, then that happens. But maybe you just should bring more civs.
I mean, we had like 15 senior APD and staff monkeys, and we were able to do a fucking Blackwater. It's really not as difficult as it is as people make it out to be, and not even including the fact they were at the Blackwater waiting for us when we planted the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about as washed as I can be, and I'm pretty sure the majority of the staff that were fighting with you were equally as bad. We did that fairly easily.
Yeah, you got one kill and blew yourself up and didn't get anyone with the suit.
I was.
Listen, I know, I'm telling you, it was awful, and somehow we still won. But,
Worst suicide vest I've ever seen.
listen, dude, that suicide vest launched me 700 meters away. It was
Fuck
ridiculous.
is that gonna do to help us?
Yeah.
Hey, fun fact.
what matters.
I
He lives
flew.
to
You killed exactly 0 and blew up one of our only towers. Well done.
No, I killed 3, thank you very much. Anyways,
Okay,
Dash
now
Tonic...
hold on. Let me
Dash-
address this controversy
Buddy
from my
joined your
lower-ranking
channel.
officer here. Heyday, buddy, your shit gang tried pushing us at Blackwater and got the young donger from your boy here. So
I do believe I heard
don't
Goat
wanna hear it.
scream,
Yeah,
"You guys
we
are
all
shit,
heard it
get
in
out of
TeamSpeak.
here." It was one of the better
Doesn't know
screams.
how to mute his mic.
It was the best voice crack I've ever heard him scream as well. You guys are shit. All right, so let's see here. Dash Tonic wants to know if there's ever going to be another roast thread. I mean, that's pretty much every gang application thread, isn't it?
Is that one still up?
Pretty much just any post on the forums.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, just go ahead and post a montage, see what happens.
Yeah,
You're either
content media.
two things are going to happen. You're either going to get banned, or you're going to see
Not
the
his.
best shit. You're going to see the best shit comments on the forums. Let's see here. Is gear spawn rate getting buffed, Dingus? It already was buffed a little bit. But again, Blackwater is RNG. Let's see here. You guys have slowed down with the questions. No, Ignacio, I do not eat ass. But you said you have a real question, so I'll pull you in here.
wow.
Fuck's wrong with you?
Dude, listen, the only we're just never
You
mind.
do eat a lot of fucking everything else.
This is true. I eat everything but ass.
User was moved to your channel.
Ignacio, what is your real question?
Alright, so,
Oh my god. All right, hang on. Time out. Let him do it.
Alright, please. Alright.
Hello?
You know, people are starting to get like armed Hurons. You know, there's already armed Quillins, armed Prowlers. So, there's a way already, like, that you could sell it by claiming. But what are your thoughts on an auction house that is in like a safe zone where you can't die or something, so that you don't get scammed after buying like an armed vehicle?
So what you're asking for is a safe place.
I'm just into this idea, honestly.
Well, what I'm gonna tell you firstly is an auction house going back to DJ Wolf is probably never gonna happen. And two, as I'm pretty sure the standpoint is would remain same as it currently is on vehicle trading or weapon trading.
Nice packets, buddy.
From what I understand from a dev side is apparently there needs to be a headless client, which we don't have at the moment. So once that happens, there's a possibility of an auction house happening, but at the moment, that ain't happening.
Just check,
without
am I
headless
good
client,
again?
yeah, you're fine. Without the headless client, it's too much of a performance cost to the server to do anything like that, or not necessarily to the server, but to the database, which slows everything else down if that's going slow. So, because it's just the way it would work. It requires a lot of performance from database, so they have to be able to offload it somehow.
Well, just to say as well, I mean that is part of the RP of of being in the game. If you want to trade weapons or you want to trade clothes or you want to trade vehicles or whatever with people, there's always the risk that you can get robbed. I think I personally I would prefer to stay that way, so that if you want to buy something like that, and you got the money for it, you gotta bring the muscle with you and make sure that you're not a fucking nosy bastard who goes to trade and buy an armed vehicle off someone for $10 million and not have one of them come out and smoke you or something like that. It's just
Just get the cops to help you out.
I mean, it's just scummy, dude.
Get the cops to help you out. Yeah, let's do that shit.
Listen, dude. I mean, I've seen your cops. Your cops don't know if something's illegal or not. All right, Ignacio, I'm gonna move you out. All right, we got more questions.
No, so I'm about to pull out 45 mil and give it to this guy, right, Moob? And Like, what are the? He could just fucking shoot me, and I don't get the armchair on.
Well, yeah, that's a risk. You have the same
What
risk when
the
you give
hell?
someone rank 4 in your game.
I was just about to
as
say.
your funds. Same risk.
I mean, it's the same risk as giving Demos your access to your gang funds, dude. There's just some decisions that you just should make carefully. But we got a bunch more
bring
questions.
people with you.
Yeah, you definitely bring people. I'm gonna go ahead and bring a couple of other people in here really quick.
Alright, well, thanks for letting me talk at least.
Oh my!
You have the most memorable voice crack in Olympus history. Let me just point that out, by the way.
Yeah, I would like to point out that at the time of your first voice crack, there was 68 people who heard it. So
User
you're welcome.
was moved to your channel.
All right.
User was moved out
So,
of your channel.
let's see here. Who else do we have that we can pull in for the podcast?
This guy.
Oh, good lord. We got the drunk in here. Everybody, the Gang Wars server password's about to be leaked.
Hey, it's 10 a.m. Well, actually, no, it's 9:59.
Thanks for that clarification. I was worried.
Oh, no, I'm only allowed to start drinking at 9 a.m.
Oh,
God,
Jesus
you have
Christ.
a problem.
You do have a problem. All right, guys.
10 a.m. All right, right back.
You have slowed down on the questions in chat. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Wait, there's people that want in here though, so.
Well, who wants in here?
Friendo, look at the room below you.
Look at the waiting.
Dummy.
There's a ton of people.
All right, we'll do this quick. Heyday, what's your question?
Free Jazzy.
User in your
Okay,
channel
get the
was
fuck
banned
out of
from
here.
Okay. So we're going to bring in Gibbs.
Insufficient
Oh,
permission.
boy, I
Can't
love
bring in Gibbs. We're going to bring in Danganstein. We've already answered. Ignazio. Somebody pull Gibbs in here. Because you broke
Bring
your
that
channel.
User was moved to your channel.
Gibbs, what's up, bud?
Hey, I just I wanted to let Mr. Booney know that I'm out here.
What?
Oh boy, he's just trying to stir shit. All right.
User left your channel.
Well, that was awkward.
Fuck was that?
Let's bring in Mad
That was
Libs.
some 40-year-old man comedy right there.
User was moved
Mad
to
Libs,
your
what's up,
channel.
dude?
What's going on, guys? So, quick question.
Yes.
Could you guys add MLR to the Warzone for the APD?
Oh, this guy.
Now that
Go. What's your opinion of that?
That's a solid question, man.
that is actually a solid question. Goat, what are your thoughts? Okay, well I think that says it, man. I'll tell you what, Mad Libs.
He's not here at the
Why
moment.
why don't you give that thought to your civilian representative and he can share that at the next staff meeting?
Well,
seriously.
I'm just going to tell you in advance that I can try, but if you know anything about Goat, as soon as he hears this, I'm gonna get told to go and fuck myself. So,
I mean, to be fair, how's that different from anything else you bring up?
well, I mean, it relates to cops, so I'm gonna get told to fuck myself. So, I know how it's gonna go, but you know what? I will mention it. It is the job, so I will do that if he doesn't come back here in the next couple of minutes at least. Anyway, I'm sure if he comes back, I'll mention it to him and see what he thinks, and then if you're still on the stream, you'll be able to hear what he says. Just to check, is there any particular reason, any point, any evidence or whatever you might have to add in and see what you got?
Yeah, dude, like so we're fighting cartels, we'll be sitting at church. All of a sudden a cop orca lands, they get fucked up. And then, like, not even 5 minutes later, we're in the middle of fighting, another orca comes in with a ghost hawk. It happens all the time. Ask any gang member, happens literally all the fucking time, every day.
So is it just so much of a problem of cops entering illegal areas, entering the war zone in general, or is it coming in and then getting wiped in a wave and then coming in and coming and keep coming in until you're basically all worn out and you can't fight anymore?
Yeah, basically. That's exactly it. Having like 10 waves of cops hit you at a cartel is like shit.
Now, is this something that just happened one time, or is this a recurring event that you're seeing?
I personally have had it happen at least 6 times.
Well, the obvious downside to that at least came to my head when you first said that was the fact that that's just going to cause things where civs are going to get into orcas and just dip to Warzone real quick, which is what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last time what happened last time, the very first implementation of Warzone was really shitty because basically Civs literally just hid in Warzone and cops couldn't do anything about it if they chased them in or whatever. Like if they chased them in and got beat, they couldn't come back. So it was really just shit. Because it was just too easy to get away. But I don't think that's actually something that happens very often. I think the majority of cartel fights are uninterrupted by cops.
I've got one question for you, Mudlibs. See when this happened? When was this happened? The last incident?
Shit, last time it happened was maybe 2 weeks ago at OG.
2 weeks ago.
Castle.
Okay. My only question is: at any point during these multiple raids or multiple waves, did you ever actually attempt to leave?
Yeah, we actually we were fighting OG. Cops came twice. We were like, "Fuck this," so we left. And on our way to Rebel, as soon as we got to Rebel, Ghost and then like 3 or 4 sports hatch and some crazy motherfucker in a go-kart show up.
Ooh, and wait a minute, that person on a go-kart wasn't a cop, was it?
Yeah, no, there was a cop on a go-kart. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There was a cop.
wait a minute. Sounds like Grandma Gary or something.
Yeah, Gary was probably playing cop.
All right, Mad Libs, but we will bring up your recommendation at the next staff meeting to Goat if he doesn't hear about it and make a decision on it between that time. So I'm going to go ahead and move you out. We're going to move in 2 or 3 more people, and we're going to close the podcast down for the night. So Mad Libs, I appreciate you being in here, bud.
Thanks, guys.
User was moved out of your channel.
All right, so let's see here. I've been told to bring Kenford in here, but this might go bad. Has anybody looked at his TeamSpeak avatar? Yeah, so this might go bad.
What could go wrong, dude? What could go wrong?
All right,
User
Kenford, what's up, dude?
How you guys doing?
Hi.
We're doing well. What's your question? I just want to let you know I have my finger on the band key.
Whoa, it's fucking hostile here.
What's up?
I'm just here to ask a few questions.
You get one.
One?
Yeah.
Pick the best one.
Alright. Why is the jump key on space?
User in your channel was
The
banned.
fuck?
Okay.
That wasn't too bad.
He had a lot of questions on that.
No, I think I'll fit that question.
I mean,
I would hear the weirdest now.
to answer your question, because I don't want to be disingenuous, you can change what key your jump key is, okay? So
That's
there.
the best key to have jump on. If not, you're fucking
It's
idiot.
standard for most games.
Yeah, you're fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
I don't like you.
I mean, to be fair, in Halo 2, I had the up on my D-pad as the jump key. So that way, anytime I was moving, I was constantly jumping.
You are the worst kind
Yeah,
of
you're
person.
disgusting.
Listen, dude, it worked for SWAT, okay?
Play that shitty Southpaw controls or whatever it was. That
Southpaw was fun as shit.
fucked up.
Pull that right trigger and you just punch somebody. All right,
Oh shit.
let's see here. I was also told to bring in Daniel. Daniel does not have a TeamSpeak avatar. This might be better.
User was moved to your channel.
And we're going to give him 3,
Scottish.
2...
Oh, there he is.
Hello, boys.
Hi, Daniel. What is your question?
To be here, lads. Right.
Damn.
I've got one
Holy
question.
shit!
What's your question, Daniel?
Right, mate. Less of the harassment, alright? Alright, come on. Calm down on the harassment, lads. Right. I just got one question here, right? Is Corporal Moob's wheelchair still considered harassment?
Take a pop there and say this is Cube, the guy who's stupid enough to text a Ghost Talk Gunner and think that's engagement. All right.
No,
I don't think
Daniel.
No.
Okay, no, he's just stupid. He's indeed.
I mean, to be fair,
Oh, no, he was a Scotsman.
Scotsman.
Moob, you're 0-1, man. All right, we're gonna bring in MC Babushka.
Oh,
Jesus.
Was moved to your channel.
There's no way this can go wrong.
No,
Let's see if he actually unmutes.
Uh-oh.
Nope. All right, Babushka, you had your chance, dude.
User was moved out of
All
your
right,
channel.
man. We'll bring in the sergeant who has a real question, and then we're gonna end this with a Honey Boo Boo poll.
Oh,
User
God.
was moved
All right, what's your
to
real
channel.
question?
I know I talked to Moob about this. A couple other guys. What do you guys think about skinned Ifrits or any skinned vehicles. Yeah,
Yes.
skinned.
I like it.
But, like
100.
Warpoint,
I like the idea of that.
system, donor. I want to get that in the server.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
Wait,
I
wanna
already-
chrome that shit?
I like it.
I
What
already
about
brought
it?
it up
Something
with
more like
Jesse.
Chrome, a little bit more flashy.
Custom file. That's all I'm saying.
I got it. I got it.
Red
I got it.
Goal Ifrit.
I already
Yo.
brought this up to Jesse at the last staff meeting, and I actually brought it up beforehand too, and he was all in favor of doing it. And I obviously don't see any problems with it, and I don't think the staff do either, because it's not going to be a question of, you don't have to change any rules for it. However, I don't know which way Jesse actually wants to bring it in. Whether it be, I think he mentioned something along the lines of making it maybe part of the donation goal or something for either this coming month or maybe the month after. But I believe it'll be donation goal. If it's met, again, I could be wrong here. I'll have to clarify with him. If it's met, then it would be the likes of we'll look at skins to be put in, and then obviously you'll be able to trade them for in-game war
Could you
points when
imagine a
shopping as
monster or red gull skinned Ifrit?
I'm just more picturing somebody making a dick and putting
Money
that as
is-
like
I want a
Ifrit or
Dragon
something.
Lore Ifrit, boys.
I want a
Money
dick
is
Ifrit, dude.
Ifrit.
Imagine the
Yeah,
dick
no,
ramming.
We could get a dick Ifrit. That'd be fun. All right, good question.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's a lot better than your
My
last
dick
one.
just spunked through
User
the
in
window.
your channel was banned from the
All
server.
right, so we're gonna do Babushka and Honey Boo Boo because apparently Babushka is back, and then we're gonna end the podcast.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Hello.
Gentlemen,
Hello, all.
What up?
what is going
Yeah.
on?
Get Gumball in here. What's he done?
He's here. What questions do you have for the panel for the podcast?
What's the panel?
Okay,
User
whoa,
in your
wait.
channel was kicked from the server.
Whoa, wait. First.
Oh, dude, it's the day of voice cracks. What the hell?
Day of voice cracks.
All right, what's up?
Are we server wiping or no?
Negative.
No.
Why?
Why would you?
Because last time we did it, killed the server. Fuck that.
No, it didn't.
What? Hello?
Server's stronger
Yeah,
now.
it did.
The server's stronger now because of the work we had to put in after the wipe.
Like 6 months of ass population. Yeah, I remember that.
What do you mean? It made MC relevant.
There was like a solid like 3 months. Like for the first like month after the wipe, everything it was all fucking fine and dandy. But then after that, the population just hit the shits and went down to like 25 every night. I didn't recover for like another 3-4 months after that until it started to come up again. But yeah, that was AIDS. It really fucking the only people who were on the server at the time were cops and MC.
Hang on, we're the majority of the people that are listening to this podcast might not even remember the wipe, so we're kind of beating a dead horse here. However, we do have an MVP in the podcast waiting room that I'm being told to pull in. It is a man who has posted the absolute worst titles for any shit post on the forums. So should we bring BDX in here?
BDX?
Hell no.
The BDX, yo.
The BDX.
I mean, this would make the podcast get a little
Yeah, pull him
crazy.
in here.
You actually
Pull
gotta
him
pull
in
this
here.
guy in?
Yeah, pull him in.
I'm considering it, but I don't.
Pull him in.
The problem is,
Dude.
Let's notice he's on his
Oh,
phone
boy.
now, so this is gonna
Peter.
get bad.
Oh,
quick.
I think this might get bad, and I might get banned. So I don't know if this is a good
He
idea.
left.
He left.
Fucking left.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
He bitched
About
out.
the whole wipe thing, and I think Honey Boo Boo has a decent point. One of the reasons why. Thanks, Honey Boo Boo. One of the reasons why.
You're welcome, guy. I don't know.
No, you, me and Wheat Kings used to roll together, Boo Boo.
Oh, dude, Wheatman.
Yeah, easy.
My friend.
Wheat dropped me into the server because I worked with him. Remember?
Heard that. I remember you now.
Okay, there we go. So, the thing about the wipe, which made it really suck, was the economy was fucking terrible.
That's true. I will defend you on that.
Because,
It was a combination of the
doing
wipe
a
and
run
the
of
economy.
heroin- yeah, the heroin run. Like I do a heroin run, and each unit of heroin was worth like 1,200. Like that's what kind of killed it. Was the economy was ass. It kept the economy the same, and you did a wipe. It would just kind of like it it would revive that whole let's go do runs, let's go team up, let's go do things. We got to make some cash because we got to buy houses, we got to buy warehouses, we got to restock, we got to.
So
you know, it's basically like if you want to think of it, it's like, you know, a giant recession hit Altus and everyone lost everything, and now they got to go buy it all again.
So I wanna kind of hang on. I wanna touch on that because I think you're wrong about some parts of this. The wipe didn't really affect big, large gangs after 2 or 3 days, because I'm gonna explain how this happened. During the wipe, or the night before the wipe, this was when I was back in MC, so this was like forever ago. We had a massive gang meeting the night before wipe, explaining exactly how we were going to do runs, what we were going to do the second the server popped up. I mean, it was
You mean
we had
after they got out of middle school?
Correct. Yeah, when they got out of middle school. This was like we had it down to a science. So the second the wipe happened, we had groups robbing gas stations. We had groups getting heroin licenses to process. We had groups picking. We locked down one of the gang hideouts, and over the course of 3 days, since the APD really couldn't fight back against that many people doing it, we had houses, we had gear, we had everything we needed. Now,
I had a house after a day.
Yeah, so we had people. Well, but here's the thing, though. So we had people that could play 8 hours a day to do that. The new players who are coming in, they're not going to have the time to put in to do that. So they were negatively impacted, and it took people way longer to get started up. So I understand, like, you know, the wipe was cool because it got everybody back to square one again. But the wipe, in the combination with the economy change and the fact that the staff at that point just didn't listen, it killed the server. So I would be highly reluctant to wipe again. Not my butt, but the server.
It was one of the funniest, like it was one of the funnest events of the server. The first day or 2 days, we did a fed on the second day of the wipe, and the cops, some of them still hadn't been on from the wipe and couldn't afford their MXs. You know, you had corporals. I specifically remember J-Mart coming to the Fed on with his PO7.
Remember Gucci Man fighting us with a PO7?
Him in Warfare, they actually ran out of cop cars by fourth wave and had to run it and try and impound cars.
Warfare couldn't tase anybody if they were ran over.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
See, the thing is a lot of the problems that are mentioned can be resolved.
They can be, but what is the point of a wipe other than just making it cool for everybody for a couple of days?
And a wipe is a straight bam fist. If I've got 300k on me and you fucking come up to me and you look like you're going to boom, bitch.
Yep. I mean, I would murder people for their peaches after wipe, so.
I set a speed trap at Peachfield because people were speeding.
Okay, so Kenford, I would like to point out, said that his question about spacebar was genuine. He jumped into a wall while he was trying to pull out a gun, and he jumped into it and died.
Welcome to Armor 3, dumbass.
Yeah, don't touch the tables or anything. All right, guys. I mean, people in chat are talking about sending people pizzas. Meth is trying to hawk a new PC. We're talking
So
about
they're
old.
trying to buy me a piece. The fuck am I gonna do?
Where
with that?
do Uber Eats at, yo?
Listen, dude. I mean, they don't even deliver pizza where I live anymore. So, all right, guys. I think we're gonna call it a podcast there. Again, thank you to everybody who joined and asked questions. You know, senior APD, R&R staff, everybody who jumped in here. I know that's a lot of information to hit you guys with at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this VOD to YouTube. I'm going to post it under the Peter Long podcast blog section of the forums, so you guys can go in there and listen to it, and you can hear the other 2 podcasts that we've done. I'd like to do these more often. Now that I have a little more time to do them, and you know, I'm not moving and you know actively having children, I'll be doing these a lot more to get you guys a little more information. So after big events that happen or big changes, we'll do a podcast. You guys can get the info. You guys can ask the questions, and then we'll be back. So if you free suicide vest for donation goal, Peter Long, answer me, daddy. No, but what we will do really quick for the people that are still here. We're going to do a quick stream giveaway of $1 million Olympus cash. So I'm going to open up the Twitch giveaways thing here. Let's see here. There's 64 views, so that's not terrible. Go ahead and enter in the keyword !Olympus. And you guys can enter in the giveaway. We'll give you guys about 30 seconds to enter the giveaway. And we will give away $1 million to a lucky member here. Who do you think is going to win it?
It's rigged,
I
isn't
don't
it?
fucking know. It's RNG.
It's RNG, but if you okay, I'll tell you what. If somebody will, I'm gonna monitor chat too. You guys can go ahead and submit one vote. No. Whoever wins the second part, if you can guess who's gonna win this, you will win a free copy of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I will give one of those away right now.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna need to check. Is Fernando in the chat, or is he not?
I'm calling that one. And if I win, I get a different game.
If Fernando is in the chat, he's gonna win.
All right, I got mods in chat too, so if somebody actually gets the correct person, we will give that copy of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to them. All right, guys, we are gonna roll here in 3, 2, 1. Zuzi.
Who?
Oh my god, and he actually guessed the fact that he was gonna win it too.
Wow, nice.
Well done.
All right, man. It's not rigged. Hang on, I will actually. Do I have? I don't even have a display capture, do I? I do.
Are you sure, Peter? Let me just go back up there in the quotes. Zuzi quote: "Gay Day will win it." At Sir Peter Long.
Oh, I thought it said "Gay Day I will win it." Whew, we were close. As you guys can see, not rigged. Zuzi won that shit.
Wait, is that your IP right there?
Yes. Go ahead, do your worst. All right, so the podcast, guys, is over. If you guys want to hang out, I'm going to be streaming in about 20 minutes. We're going to do some PUBG and some other shit. But guys, seriously, all of you, thank you for joining the panel for the podcast. Goat, Dilly, Isaac, Eat Meth, Goodman, Moob, and then Pledge for coming in and talking about Sport Team, Merc for coming in and talking about your sobriety issues, and Doc just for kind of AFKing in here.
Awesome.
Thank you to everybody that was pulled in. Zuzi, make sure you send your player ID to one of the admins in TeamSpeak. Actually, just send it to me and I'll take care of it. I'll get you $1 million in game. But thank you guys for everybody who's watching. We'll do another one of these soon. A lot of good information was here. I'll upload it to YouTube and make sure I put it on the forums. But this was Peter Long's podcast, episode number 3. Good night.